have mercy on your soul.
You know, I'll kill you. You end the job. You are a...
How you doing, Audrey?
Good. Oh my God, I love your backdrop.
Thank you.
Amazing. You
I
had
had
me
to,
at hello, Albert.
yes, I had to help you promote the movie somehow. But I gotta tell you, I actually watched the movie. I watched it yesterday, and I absolutely loved it. I
You
loved
did?
the setup, the story, the characters. It all came together. It all gelled together well, in my opinion. So I gotta say, great job on this one.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So my first question is, what inspired you to take on this film as your film as directing it?
Um, well, I would say just two strong females leading a Western movie, which you've never really seen much of before. Mother-daughter leading a Western. And just having some strong female characters is pretty much what drew me to the script. And I just love the way the writer wrote. I just loved the script. I loved the storyline, how it unfolded. It takes its time, savoring all kinds of things, and then at the end, just like, hardcore ending.
Yeah,
Which
exactly. I felt like it was like a slow burn for like the first two acts, and then
yeah.
finally you get the punch to the gut third act. I absolutely love those. Like those are my favorite things where it starts out like really slow and really tense, and then all of a sudden it just like hits you. Like
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
loved it. I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
So you got a stellar cast in this movie. You got Heather
Oh,
Graham, Corin Nemec, Tom Hopper. I mean, what was it like working with all the
Cowboy
cast?
Cerrone.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Oh, they were so amazing to work with. And every single one of them just really delivered on their character. They worked every single one of them worked really hard digging into like, what the 1800s were like, what cowboys were like back then, what bank robbers were like back then. And, they kept, all the actors were just so engaged in their characters, and they calling me, emailing me all these questions. And and they had to learn the Western accent as well. So they had like dialogue coaches, and everything just like pulled together so beautifully. Every single performance I thought was so natural and realistic. The humor was, Corin brought in so much humor into his character, and that was a really hard character for him to play. Like, he's in a bed. I mean, that's a challenging role, and he crushed it.
Yeah, and the fact that you mentioned that he brought the comedy in, of course, everyone will know him from his 90s show, Parker Lewis Can't Lose, which is one of my all-time favorites as a teenager. So to see him kind of bring that little comic back, but to a new setting, I thought was fantastic. But I
And
gotta say,
Heather.
yeah, oh, Heather, I can't say enough about her. I absolutely love Heather Graham. I mean, she's been,
She, oh,
this is her year, hands down. This is totally her year.
I know. She was so good at just playing this cold, still, stubborn character. Like, she did it so beautifully well. I mean, she was great. And
Yeah,
then her daughter Brielle, who played Brielle, I mean, from
like,
her interview, like from her audition, from her audition, I could tell immediately, like, I knew right away she was the one. She was it.
oh yeah, I think she was the breakout of this film, hands down.
Yes.
Like to me, she was like, aside from the veterans, she's the breakout because she did such a fantastic job. That mother-daughter dynamic was fantastic. I like the fact that she kind of like questioned her mom at times, like,
Yes.
her like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? And I don't know if that was her or a stunt double, but that part where she apparently gets shot and she just like flies. If that was all her, I was like, holy cow, because that scene was insane. Like she just like
So,
flies out.
yeah, we had a stunt double who did, I think the one you're referring to, the drop back, was a stunt double,
Yeah.
but pretty much everything else, I mean, Brielle was like, she's kind of a little tomboy in real life. Like, she was up for everything and anything. She full of energy, full of joy, full of life. She was like fantastic to work with. She was just ready for everything. I love that kid.
Yeah. And Tom Hopper, man, he was insane as Bear John because he
Yeah.
I've seen bank robbers be ruthless, but I think he took the cake because, I mean, let's just face it. I mean, if you're willing to go far and ahead to even kill your own boys just to get your point across, I mean, that's someone who's, you just cannot mess with him. But Tom, I talked to him years ago for another movie he did. He's such a great guy, and I could tell like he really knows how to take his roles on really well.
He does. And I mean, he's a fantastic actor, and he's very thoughtful in how he was delivering his performances. And there was a lot of subtleties in his performance with even some humor in there, which I thought was really cool because bad guys don't always have to be bad. Like they don't always have to be angry.
Yeah.
There was moments of just where he brought in little bits of comedy that I thought was really interesting. So I thought he really did a great job too. They
So
all,
yeah,
I mean, even Cowboy, big UFC, biggest record holder, biggest champion of the world. And I was like, will he be able to, do some of these scenes? Because, he's relatively new to acting, but he killed it. And, he was just himself. Like he wasn't trying to become a different character. Yeah, he was supernatural, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like he
yeah.
did a really good job.
So my next question is, in terms of the acting, I mean, you mentioned that they did like emails and they asked about the Western setting. Did they have any input in their characters as well? Like as you were shooting, like would this work? Does this work better? Was that any of that going on at all?
Always. I'm a super collaborative director, and I'm always open to hearing suggestions because, I mean, most people on set have brilliant ideas. And so I want to always be open to those. And again, the actors have delved so deep into their characters that sometimes they're like, can I say this instead? And it's like, yeah, of course, and so, yeah, everybody brought everything to the table on this. It was, it was a tough grind. It was a 15-day shoot, and we had to work really fast and with really crazy circumstances. It was, we were shot outside LA in Santa Clarita. It was being flooded, massive rains. I mean, we had crazy conditions to get this film done, and everybody just worked super hard to do it.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Overall, I mean, this is a fantastic movie, and people got to check it out when it comes out on the 23rd, August 23rd. I think they're going to be in for a wild ride.
Thank you so much.
So, what's next for you after this that you can talk about? Is there anything cooking
Well,
up?
I'm right now on the set. I'm in prep on a Netflix show, but they haven't released it yet. They haven't released to the press that we're shooting yet, so I can't announce it yet.
That's okay.
But I'm here. And then after this, interestingly enough, I have another Western that I am shooting in Spain, a la Sergio Leone.
Nice.
And that's going to be with the Canal Plus. It's going to be a very exciting film. I can't say too much about that one either, actually. So, but it's another Western, another 1800s Western, totally different.
Oh, definitely have to check that one out then when it's ready. And a Netflix show as well. But everyone check out Place of Bones on August 23rd. This is a fantastic Western film. It's got great performances from the cast. I feel like Brielle's going to be the breakout of this film. That's my opinion. Audrey, you did such a fantastic job on this film, and thank you so much again for taking the time to talk about it.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, you take care and you stay awesome.
Thank you. You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.